What's good, guys? Welcome back to Crime Story Sunday. And you're probably like, OMG, your girl is back on this camera. Yes, I'm back and I'm better. I'm still fooling around with this camera because I did not get the same one. I don't know about you guys if you are a content curator. I hate bulky cameras. So previously I was filming off of the Canon G7X after my Rebel, and then I decided to get the M50. So I was like, yeah, but I'm back and I'm better. And I have great news, guys. Well, I'm gonna keep it until I actually get the approval. But today, guys, we're going to be discussing 23-year-old Jody LeCornu. Jody was a 23-year-old from Towson, Maryland, when her life fatally took an awful end. Can you imagine having a fight with your boyfriend, you know, because he's frustrated because you're drinking a little too much for his take? You know, you decide to go out to your favorite restaurant, you have a long day at work, then you help a coworker out by dropping them off at home for your life to suddenly come to an abrupt end. So we're gonna tap into Jody LeCornu's story. I heard about her story from Crime Junkies, and I was truly amazed because not that they did the story, but I was more so amazed because her twin sister, identical twin sister, Jenny, has never let her story die. And I thought that was truly remarkable, and just, it had to be shared on my platform because her killer is still out there. They have never found the individual who has done this. And the crazier thing about this is a lot of their family doesn't understand why Jenny is trying to continue on with this. I guess some people have moved on, you know, although they didn't find the murderer. But I mean, I could only imagine if it was my sibling, I'm going to be like on their necks with the police department of trying to find their killer. Like, that's just point blank, period. So like I said previously, Jody was a 23-year-old. She went to Towson University, and it's so ironic because my sister went to Towson University. I got into Towson, but listen here, I'm one of these people, I learn from people in front of me. So yeah, because Towson has this thing where if you're a first time person, you have to live on campus. I ain't had no money for that. Who got money for that? So I went to community. But nonetheless, Jody went to Towson University. Her father was an assistant attorney, and he also was a retired Marine. Most of her younger years living in Annapolis, Maryland, with her three sisters, one of which was her identical twin, Jenny. But Jody and Jenny were extremely close, and I mean extremely close, to the point they both were experimenting with drugs and alcohol, and it got so bad that their father had to put them in rehab, and then he just couldn't take it anymore. He decided to send Jenny out west to a farm, and Jody stayed home. So the two of them were separated their senior year of high school. And what's crazy about that is, I'm like, you didn't have to do all that. But I guess that was what he was thinking in his mental at the time. But nonetheless, both two girls got their lives together. Jenny had stopped drinking alcohol. She was engaged, and Jody was living with her boyfriend off Giddings Avenue in Towson as she was going to Towson University. So they did change their lives around. So let's get into the day before Jody was actually murdered. On Friday, March 1st, 1996, Jody and her boyfriend had gotten in, and this was in regards to her drinking. And it wasn't that she was just drinking a lot. It was on the basis of he would prefer her to drink at home versus drinking out at the bars, the restaurants, and the clubs. So after they got into it, he left, he went to work, and that's when Jody went on her way. Jody left the house, and she went approximately 20 minutes to a bank where she just started working as a receptionist. And then once she left there, she went to one of her favorite locations, which was a tavern bar. And when she went to the bar, she stayed there until roughly about 2 a.m. because it was told that she stayed there until the owner was closing up. And that's when the owner because she frequent there a lot, asked her could she drop off one of the workers. And she agreed, and that's when she went to an ATM after dropping him off. And this is where the story takes that fateful turn. And so although she went to the bar the bar, she drops him off, she goes to an ATM, and she goes and grabs a 6-pack of beer. And this is where she leads her into the Drumcastle Parkway. And from what I was told, if you guys are familiar with York Road, there's now a social services building. So they were saying that that wasn't there previously, back, of course, 1996, but that's basically where she was at the time. I'll post a photo at the time before she died. On the wee hours of March 2nd, 1996, this is where Jody's story takes that turn. So as she's sitting in her vehicle, witnesses state a man pulls up in a white BMW, gets out of the vehicle, and approaches Jody's Honda Civic. They listed the man as African American, 5'10" to 6'2", and weighing about 200 to 220 pounds. And they also state that he could have been in the age frame of 20 to 30. He has a stocky build. He was wearing army fatigue jacket. Witnesses state Jody rolled down her window and Jody and the man exchanged words. It wasn't like a, violent words or anything, but as if like she kind of knew this man, or maybe asking if he might have needed help. That's kind of what I got from it. So next part is what's really freaky. So after they have exchange of words, it's like he walks, but then he turns back, and that's when he points the gun at Jody's vehicle. And he fires near the passenger side, and it ends up striking Jody in the back. And what's crazy is she had the courage to drive across the street to the next shopping center, but the shooter ended up following Jody. That's what's mind-boggling. It was like she was targeted, because he legit followed her to the next parking lot, which is across the street. If you're familiar with this area, once again pulls up behind her vehicle, and as Jody is slouched in the car, he reaches over her, searches into her belongings, her car in park, and that was pretty much it. He leaves from the scene after that. So I'm gonna play you guys what Jenny has stated about her sister's murder, and I will incorporate it right here, and then we'll pick back up.
Of like stolen drugs from somebody and run. She wouldn't, that just wasn't her, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And there was no drugs in her system. There was, you know what I mean? So it's, I think if she was doing drugs that none of us knew about, it would have been in her system. Was she depressed that she and her boyfriend got in a fight, was like, you know what, that's it. I'll just do drugs tonight. I'll just do something. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
It wasn't in her system, yeah.
So it's just so crazy. I don't know. Like none of it makes sense, and that's what And then then I wonder, was it something to do with the Mount Washington Tavern? Because she called back to the bar, and then there was.
So, you guys listen to that. So I'm assuming maybe people were thinking that maybe Jody was buying drugs from this man, and it took a turn, or maybe she had previously encountered him before, and I guess she didn't pay or something like that. But her sister says that there was no drugs found in her system. So I want to read what we do know about Jody's case. So this article says Jody made 2 calls from her car phone before the murderer pulled up in his BMW. She made 1 call to a former roommate's boyfriend and another call to the bar manager at Mount Washington Tavern, but the manager was unavailable to talk at the time. 6 witnesses watched the murder unfold. An overnight delivery crew at the Giant food store heard gunshots and found Jody's body. There was also a 24-hour gas station nearby. The camera system at the Giants was down at the night at the murder. There were no drugs found in her system. Police found fingerprints in Jody's car and are in the process of running them through the system again. I will double check on that as I read that. And then last but not least, Jenny has recently paid for a billboard to be erected on York Road with a large photo of Jody's face. It reads, "Find my killer." But what we don't know is, did Jody know her murderer? because it seems like from the details she may have known him, because why was she, I don't know. It's like you can say both things. You can say, well, maybe this person was lost. It's in the wee hours of the night. You know, you crack your window a little bit trying to figure out what they want. Or two, you know, you're waiting for someone real quick and then they decide to kill you. And another thing is, what we don't know is, was she planning to meet someone at that Drum Castle meeting park after she got the ATM? Because why would she go to the ATM and then, you know, go pick up another pack of beer after she already came from the bar? To me, that didn't make sense at all to me, because it was like, I wonder what her purpose was going to the ATM at that late at night, because I'm not going to no ATM that late at night unless it's like I'm in dire need. I need this money like ASAP to hand it over to someone. Or was it a robbery gone wrong? And it just makes you wonder, why did she go to that specific lot? Some of these questions are unknown. But that is pretty much Jody LeCornu's story. If you have any theories, I would love to hear them down below. Me personally, looking at the articles over articles, and like reading different things of what people are thinking, it's just really strange. And I know police are thinking it was like a robbery gone wrong. I truthfully think maybe someone was watching her that fateful night because she went to the ATM so late, or maybe someone from the bar had followed her. You know, it's just like there's a lot of key things, and people do things honestly for no reason at all, especially now in society. Like, you can legit be killed just for being you. But I don't really know, and I wonder if they ever matched the fingerprints, because I couldn't find anything as I was sitting here. But I think it's one of those things where it could also be wrong place, wrong time type of situation. But nonetheless, I do hope that her murderer is found after all these years. I mean, we're in 2020. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this case, so let me know down below. And I will see you guys tomorrow in Missing Person Case Monday. Bye, guys.